All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you guys already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we actually have legendary West Coast G-Funk legend, man. We got your boy Black Ice right here, live on the line. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well as possible, man. You know, it's a beautiful day out here in California in the Bay, man. It's all good.
Hey, man, you can't complain, especially a beautiful day in California. At the end of the day, man, I haven't experienced it, but just looking at pictures and videos, man, it definitely looks like bliss.
Yeah, that's considering where I'm at in the Bay, it is a beautiful thing to have a beautiful day. Yeah.
But also, man, I want to take you back to the very beginning of your iconic career, man. And I gotta ask, what inspired you to get into the music industry initially, man? Because you have such a raw, amazing G Funk sound. You bring your own sound and flavor to G Funk, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Well, I started back in the mid '80s when I was like 13. Man, it was basically uh, writing music or writing songs to try to get away from drama. You know, rather than hurting myself or somebody else, I put it on paper, and it turned into poetry and then raps. You know.
And I gotta ask, did you ever actually put any of those early writings actually on any vocals? Like, did you ever actually perform any of those early writings?
Well, man, back in like '85, '86, it was all just, learning how to put a song together. But around '90, '91 is when I finally recorded my first single. I mean, before then, you had the boom box and the tape recorder. And I don't know where any of those tapes are. They're long gone. I wish I had one or two of them, but I do have a copy of my single from 1990.
And also, as well, man, in the early 90s, you were actually a member of the group Pro Black Citizen. I was wondering if you can tell us a bit more about that group, and of course, how did you actually get connected with the other members back in the early 90s?
Well, that was just it. After writing songs for like 6 years, one of my cousins hooked me up with a guy that lived in the area. His name was Poetry, and he was a producer. Well, for what a producer was, he had a beat machine, a microphone, and a closet. You know the story. And he was looking for some people to rap over his beats. And we got together, and we called our group Po Black Citizen. Back then, that was before I was your boy Black Ice. I was just my government name, Travis Keaton, and that was Poetry. And it was Po Black Citizen. That's how we got together back then, and we did perform and do some things back then, '92, '93.
And I have to ask, do you guys still do stuff today, or is that just something you guys did back in the 90s, and obviously now you guys went your separate way?
Oh yeah, man, that's a long time ago. So we put that together. We put that group together in 1990, and then we broke up about 92, early 93. Then I went on like a hiatus for a few years, and I came back and set up the Travel Lyrics Company and your boy Black Ice.
And also, as well, man, jumping ahead to 1998, you actually released my personal favorite album, 5.0 Reasons, man. I was wondering, what is the story behind that iconic album? And of course, is it still available to be streamed or purchased today? Because in my personal opinion, man, that definitely took the G-Funk sound to such another level.
Yeah, well, that was my first project as a solo artist. You know what I'm saying? So I separated from Po Black Citizen. Then I became your boy Black Ice, and I set up your boy Black Ice to tell the stories. Then I set up my record label to produce the album. We actually, those songs on that 50 Reasons album, they were written in like '93, '94, recorded in '95. We finished it in '96. And then we put 1998 on the album cover because we didn't know how to release an album. And when we finally got it released, we wanted to still seem like it was new. So we gave ourselves 2 years to get our shit together.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes it's good to just wait as well, though. You know what I mean? Make sure you got that perfect sound, a perfect album. That's one thing I miss about the 90s and the early 2000s, man, because I would rather wait about 4 or 5 years for a new artist to release an album. That way you know it's gonna have that perfection sound. Today, everything just seems so rushed just to get out there on the internet.
Yeah, no, we sure didn't rush it. I mean, because we didn't know what we were doing. You know, that was back when beats cost you about, well, I paid like about $600 for 12 tracks. You know what I'm saying? And hold on a second. Sorry about that. Somebody was interrupting me. But yeah, so we paid like about $600 for each track. We kind of sat down with our producers and a guy named Studio Dre. We was in a studio called Poor Man Studio. I mean, with the 4 tracks, and that's between Mr. Parker, Big Parker. He did 8 tracks, and Poor Man Dre did 2 tracks. We kind of put our own sound together. Like there's no samples, and it was real interesting how it came together. So. No, it's a beautiful sound for people that didn't know what they were doing.
And I gotta say, man, the one song that I still love today when I go back and listen to that album is actually 3D's Dank, Drank, and Dominoes, man. One of my favorite joints.
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny how Dank, Drank, and Dominoes. It was a bad thing back then. Outside of Dominoes, but don't drink and don't smoke weed or whatever. And now here it is. The weed is cool, and we older now. Like, well, I'm 50 years old now, so drinking is okay. But it was a dope song for what we were trying to accomplish. Trying to have a party song, something you could ride to, because in the Bay we did mob music, not necessarily G-funk. So we got kind of a mob music Bay Area sound to that album. I didn't know it was G-funk until 2008, really.
And also, as well, as you brought up a few moments ago about Trev Lyric's graphics, man, I was wondering, what made you decide to venture into the visual design aspect of the music industry? And of course, for the listeners that are listening that are either artists or need some visual design done, how can they go about purchasing your services?
Well, Trev Lyric's graphics was put together. Are you familiar with the company that used to be out here called Funky Fat Graphics? They did Masterpiece and E40's graphics.
I've heard of them. Yeah, like I've never actually did business with them, but I've definitely saw a lot of their amazing work.
Right. So when we finished our album in '96, I took I went to Funky Fat Graphics to get the graphics done, and they charged more money than I had. I only had a little bit of money left to do the graphics and the manufacturing. I think it was '95 actually, and they told me, they said, it's going to cost you, $1,500. And I was like, for what? And they said, to start. So what I did was I went and bought a computer instead, an Apple 6100, and I messed around with it, bought me a Photoshop Bible, and I did my own graphics. So when people around me started to see, because, it was a bunch of rappers around us. So when they saw the cover that I had created, they asked me, if I could create theirs. And, I saw opportunity. And again, we weren't sure if that rap shit was going to work out. So I kind of diversifying my portfolio, and that's why we started Trev Lyric's Graphics, to provide services to the people that was around us in Richmond, California, and, to make the cover myself. And it was just an opportunity, you know what I mean?
And also, while we're on the topic of graphics as well, man, you actually did a phenomenal album cover in the year 1999 where you actually created Potent C's Potent Conversation album, man. I was wondering, how did yourself and Potent C get connected? And of course, what was it like just working with him on that project?
Well, going back, because you had asked me where can I get the services. Right now, I'm not a graphic artist. So you can't get the services right now. But the Potent C album cover came from a deal that I had with Extra Records. It's a record company called Extra Records in South Vallejo. Had the owner of the record label not gone to jail, they probably will be the third big record label out of Vallejo, from Sick With It and, Mac Dre and Fizz. You would have had Extra Records. But they had about 7 albums that were coming out. So if you know about Extra Record Catalog, then there was Pimpy Mac, there was OZ from Sacramento, there was Treacherous Tick. He was from Vallejo. He was part of Mac Dre's clique. And Potency was in those album covers. So that's how I did. I did a Potency album cover, I did Pimpy Mac album cover, and I did an album cover for OZ and X Director's catalog. I should connect you with them. He'll be a good guy to interview, the owner of that record label.
Hey, most definitely, man. If you want to connect the dots, I'm definitely not going to say no on that one.
Yeah, but I didn't really, and did I work close with Potency? Yeah, because Potency had his own label, so Extra Records connected me with Potency, and, they gave me their idea of what they wanted. And if you pay attention to it, that's a John F. Kennedy scene. If you look at it real close, you'll see we replaced Potency. We replaced John F. Kennedy with Potency. John F. Kennedy was pointing his finger out to the crowd giving a speech, and we put Potency in his place, if you pay attention to that.
And also as well, man, as you already know, we got connected through Brain Camping, a Bay Area hip-hop historian that's actually on Instagram. I was wondering, how did yourself and Brain get connected? And of course, what is this like working alongside him, man? Because he really does so much amazing stuff for the Bay Area.
Well, right now, Brain Camping and your boy Black Ice, we are strictly digital partners. I met him on Instagram. We hooked up on Instagram. He was a fan and a collector or a historian of the music. And, I got a story to tell. So we kind of connected in the DMs, and he got a compilation that he put together. And, we politicked a little bit. And that's how I met him. I met him online just from a collector to an artist, a producer or a record label owner, because I'm all three of them things. But, I'm still just trying to hook up so we can go have lunch or something like that.
And also as well, man, you are actually a member of the super group Genius Funk. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about that group, and of course, in the future, will we actually see another follow-up self-titled album?
Yeah, well, the international super group, Genius Funk, it comes from 2008. I unretired from music. Like in about 2001, 2002, I quit to get married, have a family, raise the kids. And, back then was the MySpace days, and I used to Google myself to see, what was new. And one day I had found a French review, and I didn't know that people were listening to our music in other countries, because I had retired. So, and I'm trying to make a long story long. So I got in contact with the French people, and DJ Remarkable down in San Jose. If anybody know him, he is the owner of Hella Dope Records. He put me in contact with a French guy named KK. KK owned 187 Radio in Paris, France. And KK introduced me to the Japan people who were buying records and were fans. From there, I learned about Poland people. From there, I learned about the Russians and things like that. And on MySpace, I met Breeze. We call him the flamethrower because he's a fire producer. So Breeze and I built a relationship from 2007 on MySpace, and we were doing songs together. I also had a relationship with Renaissance. He's from Richmond, California. He's a classic rapper now. I did his album cover. I was on his album. Also, my brother Ronald Porter, classic Richmond, Cali artist, part of Society's Creation. They just released their 25th anniversary vinyl. So we were all friends. I was doing a project with Breeze. We put it out in 2017. It's called Bay Area to Siberia. On that album, we have a song called Destination. Destination features Breeze is the producer. I'm a rapper on it. I brought in Renaissance. I brought in Ronald Porter. That song was so dope that we decided to create a group. Renaissance, Ronald Porter, your boy Black Eyes. We were going to be called Baytron. But we asked Breeze to produce one of our songs, and when we asked Breeze to produce our song, we turned Baytron into Genius Funk. So Genius Funk was created from about 10 years or 12 years of conversations on the phone, meeting people in different countries and things like that. So what we call it is Richmond Cali Raps over Russian Production, right? And that's how you got Genius Funk Volume 1. That's the album that just came out on August 23rd. And yes, we do have Genius Funk Volume 2 that will be dropping, maybe in the spring or in the summer. But, we're working this Genius Funk Volume 1 right now. You know what I'm saying?
And I gotta say as well, man, this album is phenomenal, man. It has so much amazing features in it, from Chili Powder to MC8, Ad Capone, and even got Winfrey, another phenomenal artist that I had the opportunity to interview a couple years back. Such an amazing talkbox artist.
Yeah, man. When you got four guys that been around for last 20, 25 years. You make a connection here, you make a connection there. At this age, we're not necessarily trying to go platinum. We're putting it together to build a portfolio of intellectual property, right? So when we started putting the songs together, we were just like, who do we know? Who do you think would be willing to get down? What resources do we have? And when we pulled it all together, like, look, I know Winfrey, I know this guy, I know that guy, let's blah, blah, blah. And, that's how it came together. So it was just, we know a lot of people from over the years. Some people said yes.
But also, I have to ask, man, what is next for yourself, your boy Black Ice, man? Because I know we only touched base on a sliver of your legendary career here this evening, but I have to ask, what is next for you? Is there anything we happen to miss? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? We still got you here live on the FM dial here in Canada this evening.
Look, man, right now we're promoting the idea of pride and purpose, like be proud of what you've accomplished and accomplish it with a purpose. So we all about family first. So we proud about our music that we put together. And we have a catalog on YouTube. It's 133 songs. If you go in and you look for Genius Funk Catalog, you can touch all of the things that we've done that's available on YouTube. We really appreciate the idea of being an international group, from small Richmond, California with 100,000 residents to touching everybody, like having the pleasure of being on your show today. But what we have is we got the music and we got the merch. Everything can be found on our link tree, which is linktr.ee/GeniusFunkGroup. And it would be dope to see people posting our music, sharing their favorite song. Listen to that song called I Speak Music. That's a dope-ass song. It got rappers from America, United States, Spain, Japan, and Russia. We're trying to put together this I Speak Music challenge where people, wherever you at, whatever language you speak, point your camera at the Eiffel Tower and sing the hook to I Speak Music. Point your camera at the Taj Mahal. Point your camera at the Golden Gate Bridge and hashtag it I Speak Music because, right now, a lot of people not making music for the 50-year-old father of two teenagers, the 45-year-old grandfather, you know what I mean? And I think we got a lane when it comes to people like me, Ren, Ron, and Breeze, and everybody else out in the world. Because, like I said, if you're not making the music for me, I'm making music for me. And there's a lot of dudes like me out there. So that's what we promoting. The I Speak Music song, Genius Funk album. Ronald Porter of Society's Creation just put out his 25th anniversary album for his Society's Creation album. Shout out to Northside Vinyl. And can't wait for Brain Camping to put out his compilation because we got a track on that.
But also as well, man, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that does slide into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give, like, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. But most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything. Your boy Black Ice, if they're not already doing so.
Yeah, well, fortunately, I was able to get at your boy Black Ice on the ones that I do have. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and on YouTube and Instagram we have Genius Funk Group. So if everybody add Genius Funk Group on YouTube and Instagram, and add your boy Black Ice on, like I say, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, that will be dope. And then those the link to our link tree is in the bio, and we try to make it so it's easy for people to reach. But we really live on Instagram, though. So, you know, it'll be dope to have a bunch of streams from the other platforms. But we live on Instagram, so if you want to talk to us or you want to get at us directly, it'll be best to hit us on Instagram. And if you want to send us an email, we got geniusfunkalbum@gmail.com.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for just giving us a bit of your time this evening and sliding into the 97.7 FM airwaves, man. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege, man. And hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon.
Hey, it's all good. Like I say, Genius Funk Volume 2 will be out next year. And if I have my way, I got 100 pieces of vinyl from 2011 I'm about to release. They sitting over here on ice, black ice.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm definitely looking forward to when you put those up on the market.
Hey, it's all good. And if anybody want a 50 Reasons CD, you know, they can DM me. I got them. You know what I'm saying? If they want an OG, I got a couple of those left, too. They're $100 a piece.
Hey, man, you know what? You got to price them at that, man. You know what I mean? Because some people will always take them and then flip them and resell them, man. So you got to get that resale price right off the top.
Hey, you know, they told me they was $100, man. When I found out, I was just as shocked as everybody else. But you know, I'm up on game now, and like I say, I will for sure send you the information to a couple other people I think would appreciate talking to you.
Hey, man, sounds great to me. I can't say no. I appreciate you, Black Ice, man. Thank you so much for giving us a bit of your time, man, and definitely enjoy the rest of your night out there in the Bay.
All right, thank you, man. You have a good day, or a good evening yourself.
Hey, man, I most definitely shall try, man. Thank you so much.
All right.